And we're live. Hi, how are you?
Are you sure we're live? It never said
Oh,
live.
hmm. Yeah, I see live and it's like 14, 15, 16 seconds.
Oh, I usually see that. Oh, there it is. The stream is live. It usually comes up.
Okay. Maybe they changed it around a little bit. I mean,
Those,
we are coming into Mercury retrograde, which is happening at the end of the month. So
yeah. So, yeah,
may-
first part
maybe
of August.
maybe we're getting some static.
Yeah, I think those solar flares are working on the grid too.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and clear our space and energy and get started. So, first, I would like to ring the meditation singing bowl that I have here, and let's begin. Hello, Alicia.
Hi, Alicia.
All right, so we have the Cancer new moon, and
Yes.
I'm very curious what's going on because we just had a passing of the 4th of July
Yes.
here in the United States. And so there's a lot of energies, I'm assuming, that is
So
kind of.
today, the new moon at 14 degrees Cancer was exact on the West Coast at 3:57 p.m., making it 6:57 p.m. on the East Coast. And moon rules Cancer, so it's a new moon in the ruling sign, which makes it more emotional.
Hmm.
Cancer is a cardinal water sign, so that's they're very tenacious type of energy. It takes a lot of stick to itedness. If there's something that you have not been feeling the energy to get done, this is a perfect energy to have that extra boost or tenacity to get with it and stick with it to see it through. Um, Water is very intuitive, so your intuitive inklings and intuition is should be right on. You shouldn't question yourself if it feels resonant to you. Cancer is the mother or the father, it's the home. It rules the fourth house of the natural zodiac, which is the grave. So when you're looking at your natal birth chart, the fourth house is representative of early childhood environment. Um, Cancer is very sentimental. The mother is about home and hearth, and it's a protective energy. Um, Generally, they're very, very sensitive people, um, kind to a fault. Um, it rules the breast, chest, stomach area. So, heavy Cancerian energy tends to express difficult emotions through their stomach, upset stomach, nervous stomach, um, just holding emotions in. And, I think it's fascinating how this language was developed. No one really knows when or how, but the symbol of the crab for Cancerian energy is so weird because one, crabs smell their food before they eat it. If you have any Cancerian friends and you watch, they will do the same thing. There's a sideways motion to their gait. So if you're walking with your Cancerian friend down the sidewalk and you keep bumping into each other, it's because the Cancerian person is moving sideways like a crab. They're very, that sentimental piece can go too far to be maudlin, and very difficult to let go of things. The joke is that a Cancer never let go of anything it didn't leave claw marks on. So if you study the nature of a crab, you're very close to understanding what a person with heavy Cancerian energy is like. So my moon is with less than a degree from this new moon in Cancer, and it's a couple of degrees from my Venus. So I have Venus and moon in Cancer in my chart, and I will tell you that my life has been devoted to my family, a very strong commitment to family at the sacrifice of my own well-being in some cases. So when you talk about Cancer energy, it really is about the home and family, and maybe being sentimental about it. So when you start looking at what else the new moon is doing, it's going to be putting a focus on parents and parenting, or in some cases, reparenting yourself and your inner child. Because of that sentimental early childhood representation, uh, things may come up that trigger you that stem from a childhood hurt or childhood experience or trauma. And, like with all holistic healing and spiritual awakening, you have to ride with that vibration to sort of fizzle it out. You can't repress it. Cancers are famous for repressing their emotions and having upset stomachs a lot, or having trouble eating. Um, so, reparenting your own inner child, ancestral patterns. This is a really good time if you've been considering subscribing to Ancestry.com and doing some family tree research. You know, we learn from our past, and the future proves the past. So the more you know about people from your genetic pool going back generations, the more understanding you can have about why things present themselves in your life. Um, an interesting thing about family can be, you can all be from the same genetic pool and be diversely different. So you can have a family with 4 kids and speak to each kid individually, and you'd think they each had different parents because they all perceive their experience with their parents differently. So the more you know about your ancestors, the more you can glean that can help you in your decisions in life, and explanations for why maybe things have been the way they've been in your life. Alcoholism is a very obvious kind of thing, because it tends to run in families. And, I don't know of a family that didn't have a alcoholic somewhere in the chain. And, if you had a mother who had a alcoholic father, and she grows up and gets married and has children, that trauma from being the um, child of an alcoholic will play out in the adult relationships, whether she's a parent or a friend or a husband or wife or sister or brother. So um, this time is very much related to understanding where you come from. And most of us have very unsavory pasts in family. If you search back far enough, we all have people in our family we're related to that we just soon not talk about or take ownership of. So it's really important to be honest and be real and take ownership for the things you know. And not be afraid that that judges you or affects how other people see you, because we all have our skeletons in the closet, all of us, every family. No one gets away from that. Even the most picture perfect, all American apple pie family in the world, you can bet there's some deep, dark, shameful thing somewhere in somebody's history. So, it took me years to be able to talk about my brother's suicide, because suicide is a shameful connotation. Um, it runs in my family. My grandmother, my dad's mom, committed suicide. And the idea there, psychologically, when you have suicide in your family, is the next generation or two, if it skips generations, whatever, they can qualify their decision for that act because grandma did it or aunt so and so did it. So, and that is just a very, some alcoholism, suicide, these are very obvious kinds of examples of what I mean by ancestral patterns. There are certainly many, many others, and far worse, I'm sure. If you um, feel intuitively that there is something that has gnawed at you, and you know that you really have not tried to transform that energy, this is the type of energy to do that in. Anytime really this summer, over the next couple of months, is a very inward reflecting kind of time. And so right now we have the sun, moon, and Venus all in Cancer. That is a very fuzzy, lovey kind of energy. So if they're, here's the thing about forgiveness. We all have people in our lives that we want to forgive, and we want them to forgive us. And one of the things within family units that happens is you can't make the other person accept your forgiveness, right? You can only forgive yourself, forgive them, and let it go. And this is the kind of energy where, you know, you might have memories triggered from, let's say friends that were like family to you, and there was some sort of betrayal, or you know um, this is coming to my mind, and maybe it'll be an example, and maybe y'all already knew it. I tend to get gossip from Hollywood late, sometimes years later. But you remember that series Sex in the City?
Mm-hmm.
So the characters that were Carrie Bradshaw and Samantha, in real life, the media has personified a feud between these two women. And so I don't know why some of this started coming into my YouTube feed, but I started watching some of the history, and it was this theme of, that's a show that was built on women's friendships and sisterhood and women empowering each other and standing up for each other. And then there was this flip side where these two women hated each other. And there's all kinds of speculation about whether it was over money or titles or roles or whatever. But that's kind of an example of Cancerian energy is very nurturing, and women naturally are very nurturing. I think one of the most heartbreaking things you experience in life is when you think you have a really good friend and you find out they're they're not, or you feel more for them than they feel for you. Those kinds of emotions are very Cancerian. And under this energy, you may be triggered by memories of people from the past that have let you down or been a disappointment for some reason. I was triggered with a memory not long ago of a girlfriend that made moves on a boyfriend of mine. Don't ask
Oh,
me where that came from, but that's how astrology kind of works, is the vibrations of the different planets and signs interact with our own energy. And you know, the mind is a wondrous thing. You know, you don't know why things come up or why you dream what you dream or feel what you feel. But certainly under a Cancer new moon, it's a time for, um, finding peace with anything from your childhood past or family past or close family like relationships and friendships that have bothered you or created some kind of angst or pain within you, to try and resolve that. Whether it means actually reaching out and talking to a person or writing a letter and burning it. Everybody has a different way of how they want to resolve some kind of unsettled emotions. But that's what this new moon kind of represents, is that close relationships. Venus is about love and um, art and beauty, and Cancer being the nurturer. If you are feeling injured, or you've had a wound or wounds triggered by something, this would be, I think we talked about this last time. It was a similar thing. Go get a manicure, pedicure, right? Do some
mm-hmm.
self care, it's
Mm-hmm.
nurturing. And
That's the thing. Like, so I really feel, and this has been really strong under my radar as of recent, and everything that you do in your life is, pretty much under your direction, right? So, like, if you're feeling down in the dumps, what are you going to do to change it? Are you going to sit there and just keep thinking about the past or why things aren't, doing X, Y, and Z? Why not, like, take a moment to reflect on those, those feelings, I guess, right?
right,
Because everyone acts on feeling, and release that. And then when you release that, then that gives you the freedom to attract the thing that you want in your life. And so, and I feel like that's true with anything. It could be like with a relationship, it could be with like a job or with money or anything that you want to manifest into your life. So, what is the thing that you really want? And make room for it. So, you know, yeah, I think it sounds easy, but I know that, it's really hard to let go of, I guess the repeat story that we would keep in our minds about, like maybe like you said earlier about ancestors, like people in the family, and it's just being in that environment. And so by the visualization and you know uh the the negative talk that someone might say, then that actually adds on to that same thing that that the person was probably thinking about. But
and
if you
it's
can,
also easier to meddle into other people's business
mm-hmm.
than to sit with your own.
Yeah, yeah, it's easier to like fix someone else, but not yourself.
Right, right. And so if you find yourself upset because some situation where you're not affecting how it's going with other people,
Mm-hmm.
that might be a sign that, that's not where your focus should be. Your focus should be on, how are you feeling physically, emotionally, spiritually? What have you done to, one of the very early metaphysical kind of lessons is if you aren't feeling well, ask yourself, what have you not fed lately? Your spirit, your body, your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever you haven't fed lately is the antidote to feeling better. And 9 times out of 10, people deplete their spiritual part. And, you eat your food and you get your physical stuff in, but to sit down and have soulful moments, quiet moments in nature, this is a great time to bond with nature, walk barefoot on the ground. um, Other energies within the zodiac and configurations between planets are creating volcanic eruptions, floods, fires, earthquakes. um, I saw a typhoon somewhere not too long ago. So the earth itself is shaking and shifting. And it's only natural that us as living beings on the surface would take on some kind of energy from that. And how we assimilate that energy is what we're all here trying to figure out, right? So I think too, and I'll go over some other parts of what the new moon involves with other planets, but it might be the short story equals to you may feel more tired than usual. And so you may find you're sleeping more than usual, or if you're grumpy, you should be sleeping more than usual. There's something there about to assimilate all of the intensity of the Schumann resonance and the shifting of the Earth's actual plates in subterranean parts of this Earth. Um, we need to give ourselves time for our vibration to, and I don't like the word adjust. I think it's an assimilation of some sort, of changing of polarities, changing of energies. And we can't expect ourselves to just snap to it and be, all peachy keen and keep going without missing a step. I think this is an evolution of humanity and spiritual awakening. It's very deep. It's can be volatile, especially for people who have denied any kind of spiritual part of their life, or you know too much in the ego and making fun of people who are more spiritual. All these kinds of human nature kinds of behaviors in the different environments we find ourselves in, whether it be family or work, or family or work is pretty much it, isn't it, where we are. So um, the um, the part of Venus in this new moon is what helps bring us comfort. So for this to all be sitting right on my moon and Venus, if I was looking at your chart and that was happening, I'd be thinking, well, you must be really emotional and really, having a hard time. But I can tell you, as living it and being in it, my moon's at 15, this moon's at 14. I've been feeling more at peace and calm, even though there's plenty of stuff that's chaotic and needs attention and I could get really upset about. But I think because of that Venus element, Venus is, sort of a calming element to upset emotions.
Well, I
And
can I can say that in the past couple of weeks, it's been kind of unnerving, or I guess, like I feel like I was on edge, like the anticipation, the not knowing what was present at that point. But this week feels mellow, and I feel like my mind is on fire, and I have so many ideas and I'm getting stuff done, and it's a weird
so
energy.
So this moon would be opposing your sun, which an opposition does feed energy. So that
Mm,
is what you're doing is getting that boost from oppositions of the Cancer moon and your Capricorn sun.
mm.
Capricorn is all about work, you know.
So
The
can't the cancer's making it easy for me to just keep
Yeah,
it going and
well, just
burning the midnight oil?
oppositions are an intensity of energy,
Mm,
so it's going to feed wherever you want to channel it. And if it is work, then that's where it would be channeled.
I like it. I like this energy this week than the past couple of weeks. The past couple of weeks, it was like, I don't know what to feel or whatever. I think it was just like not being able to
Well,
forecast,
it
you
was a
know.
Capricorn full moon. So it was a full moon right on your sun, which is a
Mm,
little stunting. I mean, that's a lot of energy to process. So you could feel a little paused or, you know,
oh
um,
yeah, yeah.
take a breath.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like I wanted to do so much, but it's like I couldn't.
It's like pedaling and not getting anywhere kind of.
Yeah, it's like I want to do this X, Y, and Z, but it's like I feel like it's not resulting into like anything. Like I feel like am I wasting time or something? I don't know. Um, but this week it feels more relaxed. I like it. Um,
So the um, new moon is making a square to the south node, and that would dwell on like regrets from the past. So the south node is
mm,
all about people and experiences from the past in this life as well as past lives.
mm,
So more often than not, rehashing those past situations is better left alone. I mean, it's like picking a scab. And um, you do want to understand that whatever that wound is, that you've understood the core of it and been honest with yourself about your emotional maturity and well being. But it doesn't mean you have to torture yourself over and over going over it.
mm,
So, the squares there are pressure we put on ourselves. It's not someone else doing it to us. So we have control over not going down that rabbit hole.
mm,
And so if you find yourself running into people from the past or memories from the past, just acknowledge it, bless it, honor it for whatever lesson it taught you. And even if you don't understand why people do what they do, or in many cases how they can live with themselves for doing what they do, that's not our concern, right? And so then there's also an um, opposition of the new moon to the asteroid Ceres. And Ceres is all about home and hearth, and would bring a lot of energy to, getting really emotional and attached to those people, places, and things from the past. So there's a dynamic here with the new moon, a square to the south node, and opposition to Ceres that really challenges us to be able to find that peaceful place. And, with the moon in Cancer, it's you find that peaceful place with um, feeling at home, even if you don't have a home, finding the home within yourself, finding that quiet, still place where no one can hurt you, where I guess the best way to explain it would be a meditation, like you said, visualizations. And we can all, no matter what your situation is in your life or where you are or aren't, we can all go into our mind's eye and be sitting next to a beautiful stream, or, have a lovely kind of experience just through our imagination. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
very healthy thing to do when you're um, and
Not in a good space.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let yourself dwell there too long.
Well, Alicia had mentioned she just went to Disneyland and she hasn't gone on a vacation for years.
That sounds so much fun. I've never been to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
I went
Yeah.
to a place called Brick Brick Street Station, Brick House Station in Orlando. It's the cheap version and the very dumbed down version of Disneyland. When I
What?
was
I
in
never heard of that. What?
it was very expensive. I had a brother that lived down there, and I'd go visit him, and it was very expensive to go to Disneyland. And there was
Mm-hmm.
this other place that was like an entertainment recreational park called Brick Street Station, and it was a recreational area where it had the wax museum. There was a
Oh,
haunted
okay.
house.
Mm-hmm.
They did shows like in a Western bar with everybody in period clothing. I think there were some rides, but it was way, way, it was the really cheap, cheap, cheap side of going to that area of Florida.
Oh my God. I never heard of that.
Brick Street Station. I assume it's still there. It
Around.
was in the 90s.
Mm.
Um, so another thing going on with this new moon is a sextile to Mars. Mars is the fire planet that gets us motivated, and this would be about focusing on home projects, clearing out clutter, or even rearranging
Mm-hmm.
furniture, or rearranging routine, rearranging your pantry. Mars sextile the new moon is definitely a shot in the arm energetically, and it's gonna deal with everybody differently depending on where is Mars and the moon in your chart. A good friend of mine I was just talking to, um, this has been zapping her, like she has no energy. So in general, Mars sextile moon would be energetic, but if it's in a negative aspect to something else in your chart, then you might feel zapped, like you just need to go to bed. Um, they have a special now, 50 a kid a day and 80 adults. So when I was there, this is an interesting comparison, Alicia. When I was there it was like the early 90s, it was $60 to get into Disneyland. And at that time, that was a lot of money.
Hmm.
When I paid a lot of gas to drive down there and needed pocket money, and yeah.
You know, if you're in the military or a teacher, you can get that 10% off, I think.
Oh,
Or if you know somebody who lives in Florida, they can get discounted tickets.
so have you ever been to Disneyland?
Well,
Have you?
not Disneyland, but Disney World, which
Yeah.
is in Florida. Disney World is Florida. Disneyland is in California.
Okay, I had them backwards.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, I've been a few times. I even took my son. Just him and mom.
Yeah.
He hated it. I hate Mickey Mouse. I
Yeah.
said, what? I said, I paid all this money to get in. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? I want to go home. I was like, you know what? This is the
Well,
last time I'm gonna try and do the mama, good mama Samaritan thing. And
we
I'm
could
like,
really go down a dark hole here with the biography of Walt
Disney.
Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's a
Yeah.
different.
That'd bring a whole nother, perspective of all of it. But yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and all these little cartoons we grew up watching and what all of the subliminal like teachings were. it's kind of scary now.
Mhm.
Um, so again, with Mars sextile the new moon, in any new moon, it's about planting seeds. Whether that's literally, planting seeds in the dirt to nurture something to grow, or figuratively, if there is an idea or concept or goal you have, over the weekend, write down as many details as you can, and, get that vision clear, and so the universe can manifest it for you. Honor your own psychic impressions. So, this would be a time when your instincts and intuition are very attuned. So, pay attention to what that still, quiet voice says to you. Um, those are the things that come to us without adversity. When we're trying to force something or go after something too much. It was once explained to me like this. I think this is so interesting. So, we all have this electromagnetic energy around our bodies. The planets, the earth, all has an electromagnetic energy. So, if you have two magnets and you put both the positive polarities facing each other, you'll never get those magnets together. It's not until you reverse one of the magnets that they'll come together. And that works in our lives, and the way things happen in our life. The more detached and less we force something, and it doesn't mean not to give it vision and um, a sincerity to it, but certainly it's something about put it out there and then detach that makes it actually come to you. And this, I think, really works well with career and job types of things, because sometimes the harder you try to affect your work situation, you just get exasperated. It just, nothing seems to work. But the moment that you just put out there in a very sincere kind of feeling about what would be nice for you in a work situation, and then let it go and do the best you can do at what you are currently on, it's amazing what will come up as opportunities. It really is
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, I believe that everything is energetic, and as long as your intentions are clear and pure, and you're in the vibrational alignment with your heart space, like in your heart of hearts, how do
Um,
you feel about that? Then you will manifest that thing that is really true to you. If it's not true, then obviously that thing is not going to come towards you. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that we have to, um,
I think
like,
that's a lot to do with, romantic relationships, is people get stuck on what they think is the thing and pursue it for it to never manifest, and then wonder why. And I think, the reason why is because there's something better for you. Number one, if it doesn't
Mhm.
manifest, um, you don't always see why things don't work out until you're past it. And, when we were talking a few minutes ago about, you may, with the South Node involved in the new moon and past people, places, things, and, not, if regrets come up, just trying to assimilate them, but also not, um, not taking that personally, not taking like that it was something about you for why that didn't come together. It's usually for your highest good. There's been so many different men in my life that when it didn't work out and later realizing I dodged a bullet, I mean, that was truly a save. But when I was in the thick of it, it was like the world was just on fire and this was what had to be. And so, not being too fixed on anything other than what your, like you're saying, your truest heart of hearts desire is, and allowing that to be. And part of this whole thing with Cancerian energy is, and it's so cliche, but it is so true. Time heals.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to get over a heartbreak or trying to find forgiveness for family or something that has just had a hold on you energetically that's not good and not fun, you know, hold on to the fact that time heals. And that's so corny to say, but it's so true. I know we all can think of somebody from our past right now that when you were in it, in fact, this energy just seems to be bringing up memories from the past with that South Node configuration. I was driving down the road, uh, maybe yesterday, and there were a series of apartment complexes. This would have been around 1990 or 91. I had separated from my ex husband. I was trying to get my footing from financial devastation and, my marriage. I never thought I would get divorced, and for it to be over was devastating. So it was just not getting any luck at all. I was laid off from work, just one hit after another. And I kept thinking about this man that I knew before I met my ex husband. His name was Earl. And
Is this Potato Man?
no, no, that was
Oh,
that
okay.
was Augie.
Oh, okay.
Earl was right here. We lived in the same apartment complex. We dated. There was a time in my life, and this is my point. There was a time in my life where I didn't think I could live in this world without him. I was
Hmm.
so in love with him, and he was not in love with me. And the energy and the emotion that I processed on that whole thing, it's shameful to look back now and think that I let him drag my heart around, as Fleetwood Mac would say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all those years later, let's see, that would have been about 8 years later. I'm single, and all I can think about is finding Earl. And I stopped in one of those convenience stores where they have the free guides to apartment complexes, because that's where he worked. He worked in apartment complexes. And I just knew he had never left that area of town. I just knew he was somewhere there. And I took off from work one afternoon, and I looked in this book, and I would go to these different complexes, and I just had my radar up, and I was just looking for Earl. And here he comes walking out of an apartment. And I found him, and I parked the car in the middle of the parking lot, and I got out and I ran for him. And, it was just the weirdest thing. And, and we dated for a couple of months, and then we didn't want the same things. In my mind, I had thought, we're both free. Um, Now, back then wasn't the right time in our lives, but now we're older and wiser, and now it's the time in our lives. But he was still not ready to settle down.
Hmm.
And so, my point is, in retrospect, looking back, I know that it was for my highest good that we did not ever get together.
Mhm.
And so those kinds of feelings about lost love, unrequited love, this is all very in the energy right now. And if you can just believe, even if you don't believe, just fake it till you make it, that everything is exactly as it should be. If that person isn't in your life, it is for your highest good. There is no magic pill that's going to make something be that is not energetically meant to be.
Mhm.
And I think that's really hard for our egos to accept, right? Because we all get in our heads how we think things should be and how it's going to be. And then we get thrown a curveball, right? So
Mhm.
the more spiritual practices you have, the easier it is to navigate those curveballs. And that's
Right.
basically what I mean about feeding your mind, body, and spirit to be in balance.
Mhm.
So that was a long-winded story. Just get around to, this energy might make you feeling things and people from the past, and that time does heal. And probably you can think about some of those past things and feel just like I was explaining, that it's a good thing that didn't work out, or it's a good thing that fell apart. That everything has its time and season. And these are all very corny kind of wisdoms, but they are some of the most basic truths of nature and human beings.
Mhm.
So we need to kind of get out of our way, get out of our own way, put out there what our heart feels. Our worthiness is another big one.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, nurture yourself, nurture your hobbies, nurture your interests, nurture friendships, nurture pets. Uh, let's see. You know, there's all kinds of psychological stuff we can think about here about how you compensate for those longings. So I think one good example is, this came on me this afternoon. I have a horrendous sweet tooth. God, I love sweets.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah, me too.
I know they're not good for me. And I know sometimes I think if I'm not going to get an M&M, I'm going to come out of my skin, right? This place where I'm working now, they keep dispensers of M&Ms everywhere. It's the
Everywhere.
it's the damnedest thing. It's like, what is the universe trying to tell me? Because I know I can't get started on M&Ms every day. Can't do it. That is not a good habit. So I've had this little game with myself that I'll have M&Ms on Friday.
Hmm.
It's the weirdest thing because of all the candies that they could provide for staff, for it to be M&Ms, both plain and peanut. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
oh my God. So, but I was coming down the road today and I got an email notice about a store starting to have like a 40 and 50% off 4th of July sale. Now, I don't need to be going to any sales. I don't need to be going in any stores. But at the time that email came through, I was really jonesing for something sweet. I was trying to think what was in my path on the road from point A to point B that I could stop and get something sweet. Well, that's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous obsession. And then this email comes up and says, "Oh, there's this sale." And I'm thinking, do I need anything? I don't really need anything, but maybe I'll just stop by there. And I ended up stopping by and spending an hour and a half just going through this store looking at sales. I came out and sat in my car and I was like, I just distracted myself for an hour and a half to get off of the sweet tooth. It was really weird how we compensate. And that's what I'm trying to explain for psychologically. What behaviors do we trade off? If you're obsessing over something sweet and go shopping. Neither one of those are really all that healthy. But if you can at least divert your focus long enough to get through the craving, I guess for drugs and alcohol, it would be, what can you do to avoid taking the next drink or taking the next pill? And so this is the kind of energy where we're confronted with very deep personal feelings of self-worth, being kind to ourselves, being nurturing, and recognizing our bad behaviors that destroy what's best for us, right?
So it's kind of like being true to yourself, like having a talk with your true self and not trying to bullshit you.
Right. And not giving in to those patterns that are really unhealthy. If I were to go to a bakery and stuff my face with pastries,
I wouldn't care because you know why? If I'm a little thick right now and like a cake or two is what I need, I'm gonna eat that cake and then I'm going to appreciate the cake and say thank you. You're giving me the energy to walk this off.
well,
And that's how you do it. You think about it in a positive way, right?
I need to confess. I
Okay,
had a cupcake yesterday.
okay, well, you
I
know what?
didn't need to have more today, right?
That's okay. You can
So,
burn it off because it's hot outside
yeah,
and you can just like I don't know, be in the garden if you need to like water it down cuz it's
yeah,
hot out there and the sweat will come out. It's going to be okay.
yeah. Well, those are the types of psychiatric energies of this kind of configuration.
Mhm.
Is your habits, nurturing yourself, um, and recognizing what you do to yourself that might not be for your highest good.
Well, I'm going to give you a confession. I've been meaning to make these uh fudge brownies.
Mm, yum.
Yeah, like kind of gooey on the inside. Like I want it.
I saw some at the store yesterday. They had big old fat walnuts in them. And I was like, oh, walnut
I
chocolate.
just got some pecans today, but that was for my salad.
Yeah.
But I wanted a sweet, like something decadent. Like I wanted,
It's so Venetian too.
yeah, well, I wanted the chocolate thing. So yeah, yeah, I'm guilty too. It's
It's
okay.
interesting because when I sat back in my car and realized, okay, so I just swapped one behavior to get my focus off the other behavior. Um, I felt good that I didn't go to the bakery, but it's just a constant inner dialogue. It's just a
Well,
constant.
it started off with the M&Ms, and that was the culprit. So you
Yeah,
gotta blame the M&Ms for just
yeah.
being in your visual peripheral on a
I,
daily basis.
isn't that something?
Yeah,
I've never
put
worked
a towel
anywhere.
over it, and then your coworkers be like, "Why is there like a cloth over this?" Well,
Yeah, it's so funny because this new job, I've never had a place. Number one, my first day in my office was this bouquet of fresh flowers. So I've never had a new job greet me with fresh flowers.
hmm.
They provide everything. They have cabinets in a kitchen full of trail mix bars, fruit snacks, real fruit, cookies. I mean, you've just never seen such an array. Peanuts, nuts, trail mix. That just you help yourself, and then there's a decanter of M&Ms in the kitchen. There's a decanter of peanut and plain M&Ms in the reception area. It's not just like
Mhm.
one decanter. They have them like throughout. And
Mhm.
it's just, and then you open the refrigerator, there's every kind of drink and water and anything. They have the cappuccino machine. They have machines I've never seen before.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's just the weirdest thing because I came from an environment that was so stingy. I mean, I took my own water, I took my own plate or silverware with my lunch. I mean, anything I needed, I had to take because they didn't provide anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, interesting dynamic there. And I will tell you, when we were talking about this energy, um, we are in the first part of July. I would say it was around Memorial Day. I just kind of had I don't know if it's an epiphany is the right word. Chewbacca, I was wondering where you've been, honey. I hope you've been having fun.
Hi,
Um,
Shabaka.
JK is here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for checking in on this post July 4th holiday.
Well, I mean, it's kind of ironic because we're going to take a little hiatus for almost a month.
Yeah, Friday Booze Day.
Okay, yeah, it's hot out there.
Well, it was just some kind of weird, quiet, calm moment I had that was very spontaneous and resonant all in the same time of what kind of work environment I would like to be in. I couldn't do anything about where I was at the time because I was there and I need the money. But
Hmm.
I was just trying to think, what would I like to be in? And then the next thing I know, I'm being approached by someone to talk to about a new job. It was really very strange how this is all unfolded, and I can honestly say it came from having just a sincere thought and then letting the universe do its thing. And here I am in a much what I consider, except for all the candy, healthier environment. People are certainly much more respectful and appreciative. And I think we all just want to feel, especially in a Cancer new moon, we want to feel needed and we want to feel appreciated.
Hmm.
And um, so let's see what else we can say. We're almost an hour in here. We've got a lot to say. So also this week, Mercury went from Cancer to Leo. So that's a very different shift. And Mercury being a personal planet near us, um, moving into Leo um, brings more adventure, more drama. Leo's very fiery and creative and um, drama, soap opera type energy. So, and then Venus is not too far behind Mercury in Leo, August 12th. So we'll have Mercury and Leo, um, Mercury and Venus in Leo coming up here together, which is typically very romantic energy. And even if you don't have anyone in your life, I mean, do stuff that you would find, you know, date yourself, take yourself to that bakery or that movie or, you know, don't wait on someone to come and do it for you. You're going to, um, nurture yourself the way you need. And then I think the person manifests. So certainly Mercury and Venus and Leo is going to add some spice to life. Okay, so yesterday was July the 4th. It was the birthday of the United States of America. We celebrated 248 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The typical chart data used for the chart of the United States is July 4th of 1776 at 10 minutes to 5 p.m. in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's pretty much a consensus. There's like three different charts floating around for the birth chart of the United States. This one I think is probably the most common one. So I wanted to just take a few minutes to talk about the United States. We had a birthday yesterday. So in the natal chart for the United States, the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus are all in the sign of Cancer. So you would call the United States, the mother country, right? It's um, the Cancerian nation. It's we mother other nations in the world. So if you've ever wondered why uh, the United States tends to go into other countries to assist, it is a Cancerian nation. It is the mother, a protector. It has a Aquarius moon. That's the revolutionary. I won't give us a boring history lesson, but for the 13 colonies to fight with England to become independent was very Aquarian. It was a revolution and wanting freedom and independence. And the rising of this chart for the United States is Sagittarius. So that is about the truth and, again, freedom and the foreign element, right? So we are a melting pot of many cultures and immigrants. And, we all come from somewhere else, that started this country. So that's sort of the bones of the natal birth chart. And we're trying to cover uh, a lot of things tonight, but um, as we get closer to the fall elections, maybe I'll do a little more um, historic kinds of comparisons to the transits now compared to, say, 1871, which was a pivotal point in our history for our financial system. So right now, when you progress this chart to today, you will find that the sun is sitting right on the north node. So the United States is destined. It is in Leo. It is destined to lead. It is destined to have drama, and we certainly do have our share of that going on. I think one of the most interesting configurations or two is the planet Uranus, which rules elections, is within a few degrees of the natal sun. Uranus sun is combustion, that is volatility, that is unpredictable chaos. So we've had a lot of demonstrations on college campuses. Sagittarius is higher institutions of higher education. Even in my fine, fair little town, they evacuated the downtown area a few weeks ago because the local college had um, gotten a permit to demonstrate. So the police department put out, and that just never happens. That's very unusual. I
Hmm.
really don't even know what they were protesting about. Okay, I think it has something to do with Ukraine and Israel, but I'm not sure. And I'm not sure they know what they're protesting about, to be honest.
But it got approved. Oh my god.
So all the office buildings in downtown evacuated early in the day for this protest to happen at 3 o'clock. Fortunately, there was, no, like gunfighting in the street, which
Mm.
back during COVID, there were really violent protests in a lot of cities. It's amazing. So
Mhm.
that Uranus sitting on the sun progressed is at 18. The sun's at 13. That means over the last 5 years, there's been a building of a revolution. So progress charts um, take the natal chart and what those progressions connect to in the natal chart generally are how astrologers predict things. Um, sure, I can tell you SCOTUS is corrupt. Shabaka, I have no compunction at all. Um, the whole system is corrupt. It's not just them. It's not just that court. It's really, really sad. So let's look about corruption in the United States. So corruption is Neptune, and Neptune right now is at 12 degrees progressed, which is less than 2 degrees away from the natal Saturn. Saturn is the disciplinarian. So that would say that over the next year and a half, as Neptune comes to connect with Saturn, that some lessons will be learned, that um, some truth will uh, be told. And that could be what provokes protest because, quite frankly, people aren't ready to hear the truth. And there's a lot of really, really disturbing truth to the corruption. Um, let's see. So, foreign Venus has progressed to Mars. So Mars Venus is typically fighting. This is in Gemini, and that would mean fighting over a couple of things, a duality there. And that moon has also been dancing on top of Jupiter, which is the foreign country element and foreigners. So, I guess just very overview of what's been going on, it's really no surprise that it's kind of a what show, and particularly with Pluto, because we have Pluto in Capricorn for the United States. Capricorn is the government. Pluto in Capricorn is a constant rebirth of the government. And um, there's an old battlefield saying about the blood of patrons to refresh liberty. There's something about the blood of patrons to refresh freedom and liberty. So if you look back in our very short 248-year history, you will see many wars that have been about oppression and fighting for liberty and freedom. So right now, Saturn progressed to Pluto, and it's actually been hovering there for about 4 years. Saturn Pluto is what we experienced in late 2019, early 2020 with uh, chaos and tearing down. What Pluto does is it destroys. So a lot of our value systems have been turned upside down, Pluto, Saturn. Then progressed Pluto at 12 now in Aquarius is holding hands with North Node in Aquarius. So this is all somewhat predestined. I mean, I don't feel like any of this is a huge surprise if you really were to look at the history of how people started in power and how the control of power has been. And again, I go back to 1871. That's when the colonies basically handed over power of the financial system to the Bank of London. And I don't know if Americans know that we pay the Bank of London interest, on the money they lend to us every month. So there's that foreign element to do with the financial structures. And with Uranus on the sun, I think that, you'll see disruptions in those financial systems. Mars progressed to Taurus will there's some kind of changes coming in financial systems. So I'm not exactly sure. There's a lot of speculation. I think it will be okay because there's a nice trine to Saturn from that Mars in Taurus. But I think there's a good deal of chaos and confusion and disruption to get to the end point. So, so since you're going to have a little vacation coming up here, then I'm going to take a little vacation. Let's give a look-see over the next couple of weeks about what's going on. And the first thing I wanted to review was all these retrograde planets, outer planets that we'll be dealing with over the next couple of months. So Saturn in Pisces went retrograde already June 29th, and that stays retrograde until November 15th. We have a second Capricorn full moon on July 21st. So we had the Capricorn full moon on June 20th, 22nd, somewhere in there with the summer solstice. I feel like books are getting ready to just slide off my desk into the floor if you see me freaking out. Um, so there's something moving here. Too much.
Avalanche or
Yeah,
something.
there's an avalanche. Oh, it's my chair moving it. Okay. So Capricorn full moon, it's kind of strange to have two Capricorn full moons like that. So whatever was happening for you towards the 20th of June, summer solstice projects or something, this is like the second drop or the second leg of that energy. And so then come let's see, we're on the 5th. So on July the 2nd, Neptune in Pisces stationed retrograde. So, Neptune stationing retrograde is very fuzzy. I mean, that's being really lazy, really slow. Um, it's it's nebulous, it's the subconscious mind um, uh, trying to make ends meet, trying to connect the dots. There's been a trend on TikTok of people, just videoing themselves crying because of inflation and working and not making ends meet. And, when have we ever seen this sort of public display of despair? You know, when have we ever seen like people take the time to sit in their car and cry in their phone on a social platform? And it's men and women. It's not, and it's all ages. So it's not even specific to a particular group. So I think that's very Neptunian and Pisces because that's all about getting really down into your subconscious mind. And it's kind of hard to hold back things from the subconscious mind under that kind of pressure. So Neptune and Pisces will be retrograde from July 2nd until December the 7th. We already have experienced Pluto stationing retrograde several weeks ago in Aquarius. It will remain retrograde until October 13th. So right now we have Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, all retrograde, and Uranus in Taurus will station retrograde in a month and a half on September 2nd and carry us through January 25th, 2025 as a retrograde. So these are what's called the outer planets, meaning they're far away. They are not like the personal planets, Moon, Venus, Mercury, closer to us here on Earth. And these planets go retrograde every time, at the same time every year. So this is not any phenomenal kind of thing, but it does explain why your energy might feel sluggish or your focus might be a little foggy or things don't move as quickly as you would like them to. It is, you know, retrograde is all about um, introspection. That's the spiritual meaning of planets retrograde. Is it's about in your inward sight and looking inward as opposed to out. So, one of the big spiritual lessons in astrology is, knowing yourself through your chart, if you like, just knowing yourself well enough to know um, everything you have, everything you need is right within you. There is not anything outside of yourself that can tell you what you need or fulfill what you need. And that is the spiritual lesson for how the language of astrology works with people. So, we're coming up on Mercury in Virgo stations retrograde on August the 5th, and it will be retrograde to August the 28th. You always see slews of information about Mercury retrograde. In Virgo, it's very fastidious. It's it wants to be very checklist, checking those things off, getting things done, and having delays. It's somewhat, it's like a sputtering kind of, there's water in the gas kind of energy, where you have all this, you have all these tasks to complete. You're the taskmaster in Virgo, and retrograde mean, whoa, Nelly, slow down. Um, Things may not fall into place as quickly as you would like, and that can be frustrating. But if you understand that it's a time when things are supposed to marinate, double check all your figures and facts, um, then it has its purpose to pet play. So then, let's see. We already talked about Mercury went from Cancer to Leo this week, and okay, then Venus will move into Leo August 12th. So yeah, we've got a lot of heavy Cancerian energy right now. And then as we get closer to the end of the month, around the 21st, we'll have the Capricorn new moon, which, if you kind of reflect back on how you were feeling and what was going on with you around the summer solstice in June, that will kind of give you an idea of what to expect for the July 21st Capricorn full moon.
That's Luna's birthday.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also at 29 degrees, and we've talked about 29-degree placements or anaretic degrees. They're very intense, so everything you know about Capricorn has more oomph behind it. And the nice thing about this Capricorn full moon is Uranus will be making a trine. And so that, I think, will help with innovation of new systems. There seems to be, more satellites launched that will affect how our internet works. Um, we're using more and more space age technology for our day-to-day life. That would be the AI. I think, you'll hear more and more and more on that. You're so funny, Chewbacca. We've missed your sense of humor.
Half-Life.
I know what you mean. We can't look at it that way. Although, one of the predictions for the next couple of decades in the medical community and medical technology and with AI, that, we will live longer. that they'll be able to take care of the things that have taken out people earlier in life. And, of course, we don't want me to get on my bandwagon about pharmaceuticals that have been killing off people. But, when we realize that we have everything we need to heal ourselves and using, magnetic energy, the med beds, um, the AI technology, they've been on regular TV advertising this apparatus for people who've had a stroke and can't use an arm, and this electronic device helps them have movement again, and I think you'll start seeing a lot. Well, you already have started seeing a lot of progress with paralysis and people that haven't been able to walk, and these computerized prosthetics that have people up and out of their wheelchairs walking. So it's a phenomenal time for medical advancement and using our own bodies to help heal ourselves, not again third parties pushing something for the almighty dollar. Which
Hmm.
so I will be gone the first week of August, and we have a Leo new moon on August the 4th. So that's at 12 degrees, and that's good. I'm going to be away. That's sitting right on my Leo sun. So we will have Venus at its last degree of Leo then. So again, Venus in Leo is very romantic, very, very social. People who should be starting to get out and about more over these next few weeks with more Leo energy and uh, more creative, more energetic. We have, again, Uranus making a trine to Pluto, which helps this edgy, crappy kind of energy that we've been feeling for far too long, a couple of years. And we have a pretty close conjunction between Mars and Jupiter. And so Mars, Jupiter will bring an escalation to any kind of um, wars or Mars Jupiter expands. So I think that could even be looked upon as the government's expanding their authority over it. Jupiter is at 0 degrees, and this is in Gemini. So, that could expand a treaty to parties coming together to embellish a treaty. So it's not just about making more war. It could be, coming to terms with people agreeing. I think I saw something recently about a piece of land being surrendered. So that could be that. Mercury Chiron, Mercury trine Chiron is learning our lessons. I think people are waking up to maybe the manipulation of authorities and how these escalations in foreign countries get started and how they are perpetuated by a corrupt media. Ooh, we're really, ooh, did I say that?
Hmm.
So, so I would say stay tuned. I think as more planets get into Leo and the aspects to Leo, you'll see more drama on the political front. We've certainly been seeing it here in the United States.
Yeah, I
I
was like, that's already going on.
that and Macron in France, he did not win re-election. I think I'm correct. I think I saw something about that. So you have parties of opposite philosophies in heated debate. And then I think you have the community of people, like not the authorities, not the government people, but the people who actually, go to work every day and pay taxes and are just trying to feed their families. Some people are melting down because they just are at their wits' edge with this kind of energy. But you almost have to bottom out to be able to wake up and see you're in complete control of what happens. Don't let corrupt authorities um, um, tell you what you can and cannot do. And it takes bravery. So, this is a very revolutionary time for people asserting their individuality and their independence. And it's just such an exciting time to see how is AI going to affect the future of the job market, and people like retraining for the jobs that will be made available as the jobs are being taken over by automation. I mean, that's not anything new. Our societies have gone through that many times. So I think that's the thing to remember here. That would be my final little comment for the next few weeks is every generation has worried about financial collapse and nuclear war. Every generation. This is not a new place to be. Um, if you still have great grandparents or grandparents that have been around a long time, um, they can tell you the stories, and we can see it through. I think that's the connection back to the Cancerian ancestral patterns. Um, it's just a very interesting time for where Pluto Pluto in the United States chart progressing to Saturn is getting over the deception. First, understanding that we've been deceived, and instead of falling apart at that, asserting our own power about how you want uh, how you want your life to look. Um, so very controversial, but I'm going to bring it up because I was reading the Supreme Court opinion today about the Chevron doctrine being um, canceled, basically. And at the root of this controversy is, can government agencies have the authority to make up laws? And that's, you got people on both sides of this argument because there's money involved. And without getting into the brass tacks or details of that, the issue is individual freedoms for yourself, and not being beholden to a nebulous third party conglomerate, because that's what governing bodies are. They're a conglomerate. There's no like one person held accountable for anything. It's agencies and sub agencies, and it's just authority. So, one of the things Megatrends talks about happening in humanity is that it'll get more back to regional types of governing, of self-governance, of hubs around the country. I'm talking about the United States, um, self-governing regions. And I don't know that I'll see it in my lifetime, but I certainly see the rumblings of people finally acknowledging the corruption and acknowledging what's been wrong. But we've all been kind of debt slaves to, you know, you just keep in the cycle. And then, when you see people in, with money, be able to get away with things, it's just so deflating, right? So at some point we bottom out and decide that we're not going to take it anymore. And that means getting involved with local school boards, local boards of supervisors in your localities. And it is about the fight for freedom and liberty and not being oppressed. So that's that whole, when I talk about, you know, in the United States chart, the um, Uranus progressed to the sun, and the sun progressed to the North Node, and Neptune coming up on Saturn. These are, and Saturn, progressed Saturn sitting on Pluto. These are those themes. And so you can either look at it and feel really defeated, or you can look at it and get inspired. How do you want your life to look in 10 years? How do you want the world to look for your kids, when they're your age? So
There's still a
lots,
lot that we need to do to fix how things are, in
and
my
I think to a
opinion.
certain degree, it'll almost implode and take care of itself to a certain degree. We
Mm-hmm.
just have to, we have to, as individuals,
Take it day by day.
well, and stand in our truth, stand in
Mm-hmm.
what we know in our hearts is true, and not be bullied by nebulous entities with authority that they've never been granted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, very interesting. I still go back to, on my street, my neighbors think I'm crazy anyway, but I still go back to, why doesn't it bother anybody that all you see in marketing is pharmaceutical companies and law firms with class action suits? You don't see ads for chewing gum, suntan lotion, toothpaste, cooking oil. I mean, in the 50s and 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, something, there was something, the pharmaceutical industry did not have the hold it has on the money and the power that it has now. And it's slowly, slowly, slowly going to take people time to accept that a government would actually do things to depopulate or to hurt the population. That's one of those things we'd all rather deny. But, you know, you're right. The struggle is real, JK. The struggle is real. And we need to be clear within ourselves. And that in it of itself will assist with what needs to happen, you know. And it's going to be an interesting time for for the rest of the year. And um, I think we need to be ready for some surprises. I think for the most part, pleasant surprises. I think finding out things aren't as they've been spun is would be a great thing to see, for people to take their mask off and be revealed for who they really are. And interesting. I just made this connection in my head. A friend of mine on the phone earlier was talking about some things going on in our family, and since one of the matriarchs of the family died, the some of the other members of the family have really shown their true colors, like when they're never interested, all of a sudden they have their hand out, and how that Cancerian family dynamic can show the true colors of people. And if you put that on a mundane level with a country, then when things start getting rough and hard, which they are now, you start seeing the true colors of people. And that is a really good thing to see. Where are you going?
Oh, I have to like go off, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
It'll take me like 1 minute.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna pull our cards out.
Yeah, yeah, I already have mine, but yeah, just give me 1 minute.
Okay. Well, so as I pontificate about the fate of the world to come, um, I am going to use the Lover's Tarot tonight because I just love this deck. It's large, and with all of this family Cancerian kind of energy and Venus near the moon, that's all sort of fuzzy and lovey. And then we're coming into the Leo season with Mercury and Venus going into Leo, the Leo new moon on August the 4th. That's all very romantic. And I don't know, this deck just made me feel like that this was a good deck to use for these card pulls tonight. Giant cards. Yes, Chewbacca. You said something earlier about moving to Montreal has changed your life. I hope for the best and for the good. Yeah. We are going to, let's see, with the, yeah, it's really an interesting geopolitical landscape, JK. It really, it's so weird to me how zombie like a lot of people still are. It it just amazes me. Um, it just amazes me. So
I'm back.
I brought out the Lover's Tarot.
Okay. I have Ocean of Emotion.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So we'll
So we're
see
going
what
to
comes
start with
out.
Aries, and so we'll be pulling on the um, Cancer new moon and the Capricorn full moon, like the next 3 weeks. So we've got a lot of Cancer Capricorn energy. It's all
Mm.
about family and work and value. All right, Chewbacca. That sounds really good. I'm happy for you. We've missed you. I was going to ask Scorpio Moon earlier if she had heard from Chewbacca.
No, I was thinking about you, girl, but I knew you were out busy enjoying life, and you should be doing that. Hold on. I can't see what she wrote.
I have new doctors, new meds, and new friends.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're in a better place, and that's a good thing. Yeah. Oh, well, Aries.
Aries.
Mm-hmm. Secrets.
Oh, oh, secrets coming out.
I hate not knowing what's going on, but you know what? Yeah, something shocking might happen. That's that drama.
Yeah.
You might have some drama, Aries. Hmm. So this is what I'm hearing. I really feel like this is between either family members or maybe a person that you're in a relationship with, coming to find out that the other person is not very supportive of you. And so you're having a tower moment that you're finally realizing that you're not being valued in the relationship. Um, and the person was keeping secrets from you. Um, And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be like, having a secret lover or anything. It could be having indulgence, like, eating behind your back. That could be a thing. But yeah, you might find out something that you did not know, and it's coming out.
What I really love about the Tower card is it's the universe's 2 by 4.
Mm,
So if you're, ignoring something or you're not moving down your little path, the universe will take a 2 by 4 and make sure that you move on down your path. So
mhm.
maybe you've suspected something but been in denial about it. The universe says, okay, time to move on down the road.
Mhm. Yeah, some shocking news may come to you around this time. And around maybe the Capricorn of full moon, then you might do something about it. So that might happen in the course of the next
I
month.
like it. I like it.
Hmm. I think it's okay. I mean, like you said earlier, like if they're not a vibrational match, and they're not in alignment with, your ideals, then, goodbye.
As my late brother would say, next.
Yeah, next. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Just saying. Okay, next we have Taurus. Interesting.
Oh, I like you.
What do you have? Oh, Leo. It's the strength card. Okay, so I have wise, and it says I found the wisdom needed to change my perspective. And again, I think that that's something that we spoke of earlier, like finding the courage, to make a decision. Maybe the perception was off, and
And the
now,
strength.
yeah,
Yeah.
now you can see.
Be brave.
Mm-hmm. You gain wisdom to just do it.
Tame the beast inside.
Interesting. I
So
like
this
it.
this could be like sexual addiction that, 50 shades of gray. And so, that's not healthy and you need to take take responsibility for your addictions, be wise, be strong, and tame whatever dragon you're fighting. In
Hmm.
this case, the lion you're fighting.
Yeah, I think that there's some clarity that's coming towards Taurus around this time.
Yes.
That's good.
Mars is in Taurus right now, so certainly, is that right? Am I confusing it with something else? Uranus, let's see. Okay, it's moved out of there now. Yeah, yeah. So Mars and Uranus and Taurus is all about evolution and revolution and fighting for your individuality and freedom and, you know, creativity.
I think it's nice. Maybe it's that slow roll into doing the thing that Taurus needs to do.
Yeah.
Like a shift in energy almost.
So what was it? Wisdom and strength.
Mm-hmm.
Mars and Uranus. Yeah, you need wisdom and strength to deal with Mars and Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. It might be the thing that Taurus needs to kind of get through.
Finding your inner warrior, Taurus.
Mm-hmm. So next we have Gemini.
Ah, Gemini.
High Priestess. Oh, look.
I love this card.
I have worried. It feels like I'm carrying the weight of the world.
Oh, Gemini.
Hmm. I really feel it because Gemini is an air sign, and maybe there is some downloads uh, coming through that's making them feel a bit worried. It's like they knew. Um, mm,
Well, the high priestess is all about your own intuition. So when we're worried, you could say it's a crisis in our faith. We're not having faith in our own intuition to guide us. So I would meditate, get quiet, and listen to that small, still voice.
I really do feel like Gemini might be having going through some difficult things with family, and that's why they feel like there's just so much that's going on.
Worry is a energy that we can diffuse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Changing up your focus. I guess one of the classic ones is get your mind off yourself and go help somebody do something. Anything that changes up the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Because the high priestess is empowered. She's fertile and strong and wise and intelligent. So
So it's like, why worry? And then there's that old saying, why ask why?
yeah, Gemini might just have been too busy and got spread thin.
Mm-hmm.
They do a little regrouping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just slow down a bit and take the edge off.
Did it really sound like arms in Uranus, Chewbacca? Am I
Oh.
mumbling? It's Mars in.
Oh.
Oh no, wait a minute. Mars and Uranus conjunct in Taurus is what I meant to say. I'm not sure what came out.
Sometimes, when we're on live, it does skip and all the words don't come through because of the internet connection.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So, okay, next we have Cancer.
The Cancer new moon.
Oh, I got two cards here.
Oh, I just got one bad dude.
Well, I see here we have determined I'll never stop trying to do better and I don't know which path to take choices. Then you have the devil over there.
Hmm.
So this is like maybe being in your head about making a decision. Um, so it's like, the good and the evil, right? You're determined to let go of the negative self talk and try to be positive, and maybe that's making it hard to make a decision. But I think the choice is clear. You just have to meditate a bit. And
When we were talking about the South Node transit with regrets from the past coming up,
mm-hmm.
So I think that's the devil, regrets needling our mind
Mhm.
and being determined to make the choices that we don't need to go down that rabbit hole again. We don't need
Mhm.
to journey that line of thinking again.
Yeah.
Choices and determination for Cancer is that tenacity.
So don't ever stop trying to do better.
And let go. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that devil looks like. I think that was like one of the things I was watching a NDE where like one dude actually went to hell and he really got it
Freaked
like
out.
handed to him, so to speak. That's what that devil card reminds me of. And then he just made a little prayer and he was instantly redeemed. So if you can change your mind, on an instance, then there's light. Light always overcomes darkness.
Yeah.
So that's all it takes is a second and you'll be all right.
And the devil is being your own worst enemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
needling.
yeah. Stop
Stop it.
it. Next we have Leo.
Leo new moon, August the 4th. So I will post the lunation articles on lionmountainhealing.com, even though we might not do a live. Those will be up on the website to at least give some more detail.
Yeah, so if you guys enjoy her articles, then head on over to her website. I do get a lot of feedback on them when I post it to the community feed. So yeah,
Thank you.
people do take a moment to read through those, and it has a lot of good nuggets of information. So
Yeah.
thank you. So for Leo, I have focus. I know what I want, and I can't stop until I have it. Wow, look at those binos.
Justice.
Oh, Hierophant. Hmm. Okay. Maybe there's a bit of change here on your focus. Um, something more. I want to. The Hierophant is a spiritual being. Maybe it's focused on the highest and greatest good of
Yeah.
the higher self. Yeah. Especially if there are low vibrational energies that Leo has been around. Um, I think that's good because when you're focused on having like this this thing that is kind of pure, like you said earlier, body, speech, and mind. I feel like that will put Leo into alignment into the thing that they really want,
It's
which
definitely a manifesting kind of energy. And
mm-hmm. And I also feel like, the higher self is actually coming through down to the 3D. So maybe it's something that you have to look for, but um, it definitely feels like a manifestation of the thing that you would want. So I really feel like that's actually really good. Maybe something more traditional, something, you know, that feels I can't figure out the word.
I think it's definitely feeding the soul.
Mhm.
focus on the Hierophant is deeply spiritual, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go take a few days. Leo is going to go and take a few days in the mountains to decompress.
Oh yeah, that would be a good place to kind of connect
Yeah,
with the higher self.
for my birthday, for my Leo birthday. So
Mm-hmm. Oh,
focus.
well, Alicia said that hers was on the 7th, so yours is on the
Oh,
8th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, JK. I'm glad you like my articles.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know what might come out.
Low frequency. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's see here. Next, we have Virgo.
Virgo, the taskmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like this. Temperance.
Okay. Well, I have guilty.
Oh,
Really, with guilt and shame. Hmm.
oh.
Are you guilty for taking too
There's an old Randy Newman song called Guilty.
long?
I'm guilty. No, I shouldn't come around no more.
Uh-huh.
Found myself in trouble, dog, and had no place else to go.
Hmm.
Guilty. So, what do you think temperance does with the guilt?
Um,
Patience.
yeah, like Virgo is sitting with this energy and like you say, maybe reflecting of the past. Um, should have taken more time to think things through rather than I don't know. But
See,
Virgo does take
this
their
is
time.
kind of interesting that Virgo is symbolized by the fair maiden, and
Mm-hmm.
this temperance card looks like an angel or type of maiden.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Virgos work too hard and needs to give their inner angel a little time for balance, because this is all also about balance, emotional balance.
Yeah, perhaps maybe being a little bit more grounded, which is Virgo, should be grounded. But I see that with the Temperance card, they're up in the air.
So I don't have it handy to show people, but my astrology teacher many, many years ago, and it's something I meant to mention with this Cancer energy. Cancers are famous for feeling guilty. And she made me this little card that had a picture of a screw,
Mm-hmm.
and she handed it to me and she said, screw guilt. So that's what I feel like for this Virgo temperance energy. It's just screw guilt. You know, you're not
Mm.
getting anywhere healthy with doing that to yourself or feeling that way.
Well, I think with Temperance, you have to have patience, right, to
Yeah.
work things through. You know, you're guilty for making too many lists.
Yeah. Lists of lists, right?
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. You know, I've come to realize and that this could be in alignment with the retrograde energies that I've assigned like some task, you know, to my person that I work with, and I'm coming to like look at it, and I'm like, shit, I should have like thought this through, like I should have like done this differently, and then I'm having to go back and redo the thing, you know, but in a for a different thing, but I'm going back on my list of lists and I keep finding more stuff that I need to add on to the list. And yeah, I'm guilty of that.
I
But it's
understand.
for a reason. It's not like I'm just like, making the list up or that I just like,
Lists help control.
well, yeah, like everything needs order and structure. And so, like, if I didn't have that list, then I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had to defend Virgo for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay,
I get
Virgo.
it. I am Mars in Virgo. I get it.
Okay, well there you go.
I like lists on lists. I love checking stuff off those lists.
So next we have Libra.
Libra, the legal system.
Mhm. Oh wow.
Oh,
Hmm. Judgment. Wow. There is a burning rage inside of me. Hmm. Anger. Libra, why are you angry?
are you judging
Angry.
yourself?
Hmm.
Um, what do the words say? There's a
There's a burning rage inside of me.
there's a burning rage. Ooh, that yeah. Libra doesn't like to be upset.
I have a feeling like again, like I feel like it's the whole family vibe. I see like a whole bunch of people in the judgment card. Maybe they're being um, judged by their community of people, or you know,
It's
and
definitely karmic. There's a karma between family members.
hmm
And this energy is very much about, you know, completing karma and closing out karma and not creating new karmic issues.
hmm oh, very difficult energy, Libra. Hmm.
I'd say take your butt to some kind of art museum or some sort of documentary is not the word, but some kind of enhancing cultural experience.
I just want to say, like, just go out and just go shopping or something, like what you did earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't take your anger out on the cake.
It wasn't about cake.
I know
I
because I
was trying
might
to
make some
contemplate that
tonight.
earlier today. I was like, what is it? What
It might
is
be
it?
the Cancerian comfort like thing, like
Yeah.
because I've been fiending for this cake for 2 weeks now. I've been holding it off, kind of like you are with the M&Ms,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I've been meaning to make this, but I've been pushing it off,
Yeah.
trying to be a good girl. But I've been fiending for this decadent brownie. Like
Yeah.
I might make it tonight. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see how
I
long I can
did, I did buy the ingredients for it's been like a progressive thing. I first bought the marshmallows.
go.
Then I bought the box of graham crackers, and I
Uh-huh.
recently bought the little Hershey bars. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, I was gonna try to have my little s'more bonfire going.
Oh, that sounds good, honestly. You know what? That sounds like a great idea because I haven't had graham crackers in a while, and it's hot enough to melt marshmallows these days with
Yeah.
chocolate. And it might be that thing where you could just.
There's a commercial where these beavers are watching this family camp, and they family has marshmallows on this stick, roasting them
Mm,
over a fire.
mm-hmm.
And the beavers come through the campsite and swipe up the sticks of marshmallows, and then they're huddling back behind the bushes and they throw the marshmallows away and start gnawing on the sticks. Whoever animated these little beavers in that commercial was pretty cute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds cute. Oh my goodness! Look at this, Scorpio. Oh, I've
Oh,
been hurt too many times. Unfaithful.
Chariot. Moving on.
Mm-hmm. So
Moving on quickly.
Yeah, if you've been with somebody that has been unfaithful and you've been hurt, it's time to go. You don't need a repeat offender. You know. Um yeah, why take this? That goes along with like the thing that you had said earlier, thinking about the past and how things, certain things didn't really work out. It's for a reason, it's for your protection.
It's like move on
Mhm. Yeah,
quickly. The
quick.
chariot moves very quickly.
Yeah, so if this is like a recent thing, it's a sign. Yeah. Yeah, and you should be happy. You shouldn't be like, all bent out of shape because somebody isn't giving you all the attention you deserve. Like you deserve better than that. So yeah.
Chariot is also about balance.
Mhm.
It could also be about a Scorpio contemplating whether or not they're going to be unfaithful, because the black and white is can be some of that good and evil, like, are you committed to your relationship, or are you being tempted? Might be like evaluating that value system of commitment and relationship.
Yeah. Why are you being unfaithful? Time to.
And then here's an interesting thing about this with, you know, this electronic age of swiping left and right. And, so if you're living with somebody and they're on their phone on dating sites, are they being unfaithful?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a value system that, what is unfaithful is that you're not unfaithful until you take your clothes off and actually have sex
No,
with
no. It's the thought. It's that the action of actually doing the thing that leads to unfaithfulness.
them. Okay.
Yeah.
So that might be
Because.
being contemplated,
Yeah.
like like I know a married guy that is, says he's happily married and everything, but then he's not so sure if having like some kind of quick, fling somewhere is really a sin, or is that even like he was
He must
bringing.
be married too long.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
but I mean, how do people reconcile those degrees of what they consider faithful and unfaithful?
Mhm.
Not everybody has the same definition.
No, that's why,
It's disturbing
you talk about it with your partner and they define the laws or the
what the
rules.
boundaries are.
Mhm. Because if not, if one person's just doing like whatever, then yeah, that becomes an unfaithful act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and that's all about moral values.
Mhm.
And what was my card? The Chariot. So, yeah, it might be about balancing moral values on matters of faithfulness. Oh, Sagittarius. I got the moon.
Mhm. Oh, look. I have happy.
Oh,
I want to make you smile again. So that must be like
nice.
um who is it? A cancer person? No, I'm playing. It could be anybody, but um
I like it.
yeah, Sag, well maybe you're the chivalrous person here, being in your emotions and really want to make someone happy. Um, Someone has got you in their feels or emotions that's making you take action.
And the moon is also about the subconscious mind. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe a healing in the subconscious brings your emotions to that sort of levity and happiness all on its own.
Well, look at this. You have the two dogs. That's like a sense of loyalty, and that could be like the twins,
Yeah.
right?
And the
Um,
crawfish coming up
mhm,
out of the water is bringing subconscious information into the conscious mind.
mhm.
Could be about, something happy, you're going to become a mother, or um,
This could be about a person of the past, and maybe they now have the capability or energy to make their wrongs right or to make that person happy again. Maybe Sag has been running from this thing, but now things are slowing down. They have a realization or understanding um, where things went wrong, and I just keep getting like making wrongs right. Well, it could be the other person I'm speaking of too.
I like it. It
Hmm.
feels good energy.
It's
Jubilee.
really positive.
Like Sages, traveling, and um, maybe even just astral travel, or I don't know. It just feels very good for Sag.
I like it. Going where the wind blows.
A little lighter than the last few pulls.
Yeah, let me make you happy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Being faithful and
Yeah.
wise and strong.
So now we have Capricorn.
Oh, I love it. Happy's in love.
Oh, Empress. Ooh. Oh, okay. Well, I got three that popped out.
Oh,
I got the happy card again. I guess that wanted to come out. Um, I want to make you smile again. And then we have relaxed. I found peace again and illuminate. Your light helped me to guide me out of my darkness.
oh,
That's
I
actually
like it.
good.
Yeah. This
Like
is
birthing
purple.
something new.
Yeah. Nurturing. There you go.
There's, yeah,
Cancerian energy, the opposition of Capricorn. Nurturing,
peace,
self love.
happiness, light,
I like it.
birthing. That's actually really good. And you know what? You deserve to relax.
Yes.
Um,
You deserve a break today.
yeah, yeah, and be happy.
It's a choice.
It is. You can be miserable or you could be happy. So the light is being shown, and this is a nice thing to meditate,
Yeah.
looking at the sunset. That's
Like
beautiful.
that.
Hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see how peaceful that could be. Both of them are sunsets. The happy thing is a sunset, the relax is sunset. So there's illumination. That's good.
It's very good.
Hmm. Okay, now we have Aquarius.
So, sturdy kid, you would need to know your time of day, and that will tell you what part of the cusp you might fall upon. The
Hmm.
city and state to get the longitude and latitude of where you were born and the time of day.
For me, I think it was late at night.
And um, support for Aquarius.
I want to be the one who stands beside you and assist in all of your success. Oh, so Aquarius is being supportive, just hanging out, looking at things differently. But Aquarius is actually really good about that. Like they're the humanitarian,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they like to be of service to people.
It's deeply spiritual too, which the Hanged Man is all about your faith. What do you
Hmm.
believe in spiritually?
Especially hanging from a foot.
Yeah, upside down.
Uh-huh. That's actually really positive. I like that. So Aquarius is going to be there to help all mankind. That's a good thing.
So there's another myth behind this card about, I can never pronounce the guy's name. It was like Nebuchadnezzar or something like that. He bound himself to a tree to prove his faith that spirit would not allow him to die. And he, for like days on end, would daze in and out and doze, bound himself to this tree. And like he was at his wits' end, so to speak, of no food or water. But he's never lost his faith that spirit would not just let him hang there and die. And
Hmm.
upon waking from one of his dazes, there was some fruit just just outside of his reach, and he stretched and stretched and stretched and was able to reach the fruit. But for him, it was a test of his own deep faith. So it gets a little weird. Sturdy Kid, I would need to know the city and state and the year if you want to know exactly what a chart would say. And you don't have to do it here in the open chat. If you want to email me at, what is it,
I'm
lionmountainhealing@gmail.com.
yes, yes, ma'am.
I'll figure it out. Okay, Pisces.
Yeah, I have hostile. I don't want to play this game with you anymore.
Oh, death. Wow.
Oh, Pisces, what the heck? I don't want to play.
Oh, that's Saturn and Pisces for sure.
Hmm.
Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. That this is a perfect example of that.
Maybe they were playing and then they don't want to play anymore. They're like, no, I'm done. Hmm.
He's trotting away. He's done.
Mm-hmm. So maybe Pisces isn't going to take it anymore because Pisces is always like, trying to like go with the flow. And if if there's like opposition or uh, hostility with someone, they don't have to play. They can just be done with it.
And I always think of the death card as, you've accepted some harsh truth. You're down to the bone of the matter. There's no pretending anymore. So just because Sturdy Kid brought it up, I want to explain something about a natal birth chart. It's
Mhm.
believed that it's a snapshot of the solar system if you were up in heaven looking down on the solar system at the moment of your death. That's what the chart is. It comes in like pieces of pizza, like a pie. And each piece of pizza is a part of your life.
Hmm.
And math, the math of calculating the placement of each planet when you were born is the elements of your month, day, year, time of day, city, and state. And with those elements, it's purely math calculating at that time the speed of each planet, because speeds of planet change. They're not consistently the same speed all the time. And where you are physically on the earth And that is how we come up with the placements of the planets for a natal chart. And in ancient times, it is believed that it's like you and your spirit guides, before you decide to come down into the human experience, come up with this chart for you to do. And it represents your past lives, your strengths, your weaknesses, your destinies, your things that are here to grow. Um, and that is the purpose of the natal birth chart. So I didn't want to sort of piecemeal what kind of information you need, but that's it. And very fascinating language.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the chart I did for the United States. And the chart in the middle is the natal birth chart of the United States. And that ring on the outside is the progressions of today, where those planets make contact with the natal planets. And that's how astrologers predict what's going on, is what is progressed to the natal chart. Because if it doesn't make contact with something in the natal chart, you'll not feel it, right? And it's believed that each one of these is like a fingerprint. Even twins would have moments between their birth, and it would slightly change the numbers. You can see like each planet has a degree in a minute of where it's placed. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And I know I've told you this story before, but it's worth repeating. When I was 17 years old, I was introduced to an astrologer through some friends who knew I liked astrology, and I'd been kind of studying it on my own. And they, oh, you need to meet Ruth. She teaches astrology. So I go to this lady for a reading, and within the first 2 or 3 minutes of sitting in a chair with her, she said, so were you like electrocuted around the ages of 2 or 3? And I like to fell out of my chair because, yes, I was electrocuted when I was about 3 years old. So in my natal chart, the planet Uranus, electricity, was on an angle that represented childhood. And it was like at 3 degrees. And that's how she was able to tell at age 3, I was electrocuted. And that hooked me. That hooked me. So, it's just always been a fascinating study to me.
Yeah, I always use Sunny to check in with myself. Obviously, I'm an intuitive, and so it's really nice to have a different perspective in terms of like the placements of the stars, and it
Usually
does.
it's a confirmation of what
Yeah.
you already are feeling. An astrology chart just confirms for someone, like just like tarot cards, you're communicating from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind. These are all
Hmm.
things that you come up with on your own, but it's nice to have some kind of validation by some other
Yeah, and
instance.
it's so weird that it's validated through the stars. So it's nice. It's
I
nice
just
to
think it's
have.
fascinating how they attribute the symbols to the sign, and how, like with Cancer, the crab, Cancer people have a sideways motion. They smell their food before they eat it. They have a hard time letting go of anything with those Cancerian claws. So it's just fascinating to me. And um, it's just fascinating to me. Um, I've had a lot of very interesting things in my life because of it.
Hmm. So does anyone have questions for Sunny? If you guys are coming in late into the chat, we will be MIA for until August. after the first week of August. So if you have any questions, now is the time to speak up. Otherwise, you can definitely book a reading with her at lionmountainhealing.com. I will take a hiatus for a few weeks, so I will not be available for any bookings. But if you book, now's the time to do so, and I'll only be available for a week this month. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's the middle of summer, time to like go decompress at the top of a mountain somewhere or
Yahoo! No, I'm like,
howl at the moon.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
So,
I'll say one more story just because it comes to my mind to say.
hmm.
So I was like 13 or 14 when I found my first astrology book in a closet in a house where my parents had moved. And so I had this secret little thing, about, I was studying this fascinating stuff. So then, and my mother never poo pooed it. She always encouraged me, she thought it was interesting too. And met my teacher when I was 17 and studied with her until she stopped teaching, really, and many years. And so let's see, 17, when I was 35, my mom was given a few weeks to live from cancer. And it was all very sudden. And every day I would sit with her and felt like I needed to know everything all at once. And I said, Mom, when you get to the other side, you need to tell me if I've wasted all these years studying cancer, studying astrology, and it's all a bunch of bonk, or do I keep studying? My mother was a very, 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 very sweet lady, and she just patted me on my shoulder. Okay, honey, I will. So she died on Thanksgiving 1996.
No way. Really?
Mm-hmm.
My grandma died on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some in
My
common.
mom was 71. And so that was on a Thursday. My father had a stroke the night before and was in the hospital. My parents were very connected. And my father was just falling apart that she was dying and died. So we were trying to kind of move things along to help my dad like get through it. So we had a service on um, Sunday, and so I was self-employed and got my dad out of the hospital. Things were kind of settled on Monday, and then on Tuesday I'm back at my desk for the first time in quite a while because her last couple of weeks were like around the clock, and the phone rang. And it was this reporter from a newspaper that wanted to interview me about the history of astrology. Now, at this point, I'd been caregiving my mom for about 2 years. She had had a stroke before the cancer. My dad had had a heart attack. So I used to travel to conferences and on a speaker circuit and travel a lot. But once they got sick, I really couldn't leave. And I was involved with something called National Council for Geocosmic Research, which has chapters all over the world. And so I'd been out of this whole thing for like 2 years and get this phone call. And history is what's really important to me. I spent time in the Greek islands where the School of Astrology began. That is what I'm most interested in about astrology. And for this woman to call me wanting to know the history of astrology was just cosmic. I was like looking up at the heavens, like, Mom, that was really fast, And so, yeah, for 45 minutes, she interviewed me about this. And I asked her, I was like, where did you even find me? I mean, I haven't been on the circuit. I I always had my own personal little practice and keep up with it on my own, but I hadn't been out, like in the public. She said that she found my name as one of the past presidents of one of these NCGR chapters, which I was for a long time. And it was so weird. And that was on the Tuesday after she died. So then in my area, there it's not anymore, but on a Wednesday they would put out a newspaper and that section always had recipes. My mom's birthday was December 21st, and that was on a Wednesday, and in the paper that came was how your zodiac sign dictates your tastes, what you like to eat, and it had all these recipes like Taurian cheese sticks and Cancerian crab balls. And it was just too weird because my mom and I still have it, have a notebook. We loved to cook and garden. We were always between the garden and the kitchen. And I have a notebook where we tried to make up zodiac recipes. And that has always been one of my
You should put
unfinished
that on your blog.
recipes
Yeah.
for your zodiac. I
Hmm.
should, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just, wham, wham, one right after the other of these confirmations. And so for most of my life, I was always sort of like, I live in a very conservative area. I've been called a witch and all these things because people don't understand. But after that happened, it's like, I don't really care what you think. I know that this for me is for me. And my
Hmm.
dear beloved deceased mother on the other side has given me confirmations. So screw you, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's really weird. And then you have to wonder if, okay, that's my capsule of an experience, but somebody else somewhere else, may have totally different signals and confirmations. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's what's so wondrous about the whole human experience is we all are very individual. And this whole Uranian Aquarius kind of energy is us coming into ownership of that individuality and not letting nebulous, masked conglomerates dictate anything to us. So
Hmm.
it's an interesting time for us to be living. And in astrology, it is believed that you choose when you're born and who you're born to. And that can be very frustrating for people with stressful family situations. You're like, why would I choose this? It's like, you never know, My mother and I would always talk about, we knew that we had had many lifetimes together. We knew we just had that some sort of resonance between us. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, it's very spiritual. So you've been feeding your spirit tonight, listening to us,
I
and
get it.
so that's
Yes.
the way to be balanced. Is you have yourself some nourishing food, and you give your body gentle exercise, and you do something soulful that makes you think about what's your faith, what do you believe in. It doesn't have to match anything anybody else believes, and it can be a hodgepodge of many things. You just figure it out and make a commitment to it.
Sounds good.
Yes. Oh, let's see, Alicia. Can I get asked a question about my DM and what is in store for us? Well, sure, sure.
I can pull a card. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do. And
What's in store?
what's in store for Alicia's divine masculine? Is that the question? I think that's the question. Alicia, divine masculine. What's in store? Ooh, ooh, I don't know. It looks pretty emotional and happy from this standpoint.
What you have?
10 of Cups.
10. Oh, okay. Oh, I have the dice.
Oh,
So basically it's to take a chance To work on something with him. Mm,
So that song by Heart is going through my mind. Take a chance on me. Take a chance.
um, yeah, take a chance. Um, yeah, I think it's just like follow follow your heart, follow what you feel.
Find completion within yourself first, is what Ten of
Mm,
Cups is. Find emotional wellness and completion all on your own within yourself.
mm-hmm.
Don't look for anyone outside of yourself to fill that piece of you. And then you're a whole happy person to contribute to another whole happy person.
Yeah, I agree. Once you
So,
fill your own cup first, then you can, get filled by someone else or you fill someone else's cup. But if you feel like the energy is not a match, then work on you.
so Chewbacca, do you want a card pulled on this progress?
Let's see, what she say?
You said that Sun might
Had to admit to my new psychiatrist that he had a problem with me since I moved in, which is why he used me as his verbal punching bag progress. So I think you were talking about the even uh damn it.
I think it is very, I mean, that's great disclosure. I mean, that's a great disclosure. And this says to have patience with the whole situation and that your guardian angels are near. And I'm really sorry you've had to suffer that kind of verbal abuse by a parent. It sucks. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, because some psychiatrists are they could lose their license for acting out of line.
Well, and with things like that, and this is going to sound cheesy, and please forgive me, but you know, family relationships are karmic. We have journeyed with these souls before. So, as hard as it might be to think that maybe in another lifetime you were the dad and the roles were reversed, maybe this is just a completion of a karmic cycle that needed to happen. I don't know.
Mm.
Two different things. Dumbass is, I wonder. You wonder about progress? Two different things. I don't know how to respond to him if he comes back around because he left me hanging that time. Um,
You don't have to
I
respond.
was going to say you don't have to respond, and this would say just rest and
Mm.
be nurturing to yourself.
Yeah, don't let that past hold you back either. You think about you. I have a delay. Mm. Cheesy adds flavor. You know what? I went to Taco Bell yesterday. You know,
Gotten expensive, haven't they? They used to be.
well, I haven't been in a while, and it was the only thing that was open because I told my kids I'm not cooking,
Yeah.
and the normal taco joint that I normally go to wasn't open, so we settled for Taco Bell. But they came out with the taco nacho fries. Have you tried those?
I have not been to Taco Bell in a long time because I can't believe how the prices have gone up. It used to be such a cheap place to
Yeah, I
eat. It's
used to
not
get
cheap
some
anymore.
stuff on the dollar menu, but I
I
don't
know.
know
I mean,
how that goes. But yeah, but even like the veggie bowl that they have is they call it cantina. It was barely like I don't know. They just ladled just a little dusting of food, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Like,
so what are the cheesy taco fries or nacho fries? What
yeah,
is
the
it?
nacho fries they actually taste good if you like nacho sauce.
I love nachos.
Yeah. So it's like a seasoned French fry, but when you dip it into the nacho sauce, that's
Mm,
where like the combination is like really good. So, kudos to Taco Bell for making a decent snack.
yeah.
I just had I saw nachos of their cheese. And yeah, um I've been like, cuz I used to be vegan. So now I'm like vegetarian, and so I'm exploring cheese again, guys. So there's my guilty.
Pleasures.
I admit to it. I don't care. I'm like, eat that cheese.
Cheese is a
The one thing
wonderful
about
food.
vegan cheese is that it's disgusting. They still have not perfected the vegan cheese. It's yeah.
Okay, Chewbacca, I'm trying to catch up with you here. Give me a sec. I skip. Wow, skip 36 in food orgy. Oh my
Food.
God. See?
Oh yeah, we're talking about Taco
Oh,
Bell. The nacho
I like
fries.
the pizza thing they do. It's like the layers of
Oh
the
yeah, the Mexican pizza.
yeah.
Yeah, that one's okay.
I
I
like
don't mind it. It's just if it's just beans and cheese, I'll eat it.
I love and they quit serving. They used to have a didn't they used to have like where you could just buy like a cup of the beans and rice?
Yeah,
That's
I
still on
actually
the
had
menu.
that. It's black beans and rice.
So they don't have that on the menu here anymore.
Black beans and rice. They used to have
Yeah.
pinto beans, but now they changed the bean and they changed it to the black bean.
Next thing you know, Sandy will define seasoning as bacon. Vegan bacon. I'm sure
Yeah,
they make a plant-based bacon.
yeah, you have to be like very careful with that fake stuff
Yeah.
because like there's like this fake chicken that's made from Switzerland and the package it says daring, and I kid you not, it tastes really good. It even has like the texture of chicken, like
Oh.
yeah. You don't have Taco Bell in
Something.
Montreal, girl. Don't you have poutine or something like that? Where you have like French fries with stuff on top of it. Yeah, that's those are even better. I think I would actually like to eat that.
Um,
Just saying.
so I was gonna say I don't guess DoorDash can come up to you.
No, they don't have DoorDash up there, I don't think.
Uh,
Yeah, poutine, yeah, vegetarian style. I'll eat it.
there was something about a man who developed plant-based foods recently in the not in the mail in the news. I don't remember the story. I'll have to look at that because I thought that's another very like Neptune Saturn kind of disclosure where something on a surface seems one way and then deceptively it's another.
Mm-hmm.
And here, and on that note, it was the devil.
Yeah, the devil did it.
Yeah, amazing.
JK says she's sensitive to texture. Uh,
Taco Bell versus Taco is no. Oh, Taco
taco.
Bell versus Taco
I
Joints,
never heard of taco. You mean taco joints in general, or is that a name?
or not welcome. Plus, stuff used in your food is no. Um,
Oh, yeah, probably because it's probably used.
um, what about Chipotle? Do you have Chipotle up there? Or there's another one called Queso something. Well, like are there Mexican? Is there Mexican food in Montreal at all?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there. I mean, like every culture has like different food places.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vanessa, that's funny. Fake meat says methadone. That is funny. That's very Neptunian. That's very Neptune and Pisces for sure.
The only fake meat I eat is tofu. Like I try not to eat the other stuff or the real deal. I've never encountered a Chipotle. Mm. Yeah, I know Montreal has really good food. Yeah. Y'all are making me hungry. I haven't eaten dinner, so.
Well, we've kind of gone on a marathon here, but hopefully it will get everyone through the next few weeks with some of the high spots of the different transits.
Mm-hmm.
Always welcome to reach out to me. And I think it's a really interesting time to
It
be
is.
mindful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really is because my mind has been open to a whole new reality. And I think it's like conscious and subconscious stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that Tommy?
you hear him? He
Yeah.
must be loud because every time he meows, you hear him. Hey,
Yeah.
cutie. He's hungry.
He says, "Where is my food?"
Yeah, he is.
Handsome man. What a handsome man.
He's my little Russian.
Oh. Oh.
He's shy. Hmm?
Huh.
Are you hungry? Are you
Yes.
hungry? Yeah, I know. Like he's gonna jump on the window. Go for it. Go. Yeah.
Does he
He,
watch the critters outside?
he does. He likes it out there. But he's meowing because he's hungry. That's the meow. He only comes when he's hungry. Like
He
other
knows. Oh, there he goes.
yeah.
He
He's a
knows where to come for.
yeah, he's a typical cat that sits on the windowsill. Oh, I love him. He's different than Luna. Like
Yeah.
they're like night and day.
Well, they're good friends, good buddies.
I know. Yeah. A tuxedo, huh? Yeah. He's kind of like a tuxedo cat, but he's just gray and white instead of black and white. Mm. Totally get what you mean about the conscious and unconscious. Yeah. Biden is your king. How about it? No. What the heck? Uh, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. That Luna. Oh, do you see Luna's tail? She's crouched on the floor. You just see like the very tippy right there.
Yeah. They're ready.
Yeah, they're waiting on me.
I do appreciate everyone's time, and we will maybe have lots to talk about when we reconvene again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna
Uh,
be because we have whatchamacallit. Oh, what's the thing that happens on your birthday?
Lionsgate,
Yeah, Lionsgate. You're like, yeah.
which is funny because I've had it every year for many, many years, and I can't say it's much different than any other day.
Well, I might. Sorry.
But I will be out of town, so
Maybe there's a revelation for you to share
mhm.
in the next life.
I'm taking my dogs on vacay.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're going to the mountains.
Yeah, it'll be nice to kind of get them out in nature and
Yeah,
different scenery and
yeah.
stuff.
Puts around a little country town out in the middle of nowhere.
Do they do well unleashed, or do you always have them? Okay. Yeah, like Luna's not good unleashed.
So I was at this store today, and it's an outdoor mall, but it's pet friendly. Like people walk their dogs. It's like Saks Fifth Avenue and Brooks Brothers, all these high end stores, and people take their dogs in them. And years ago, when it first opened, just to piss off the snotty ladies at Saks Fifth Avenue, I'd walk my dog in there. These were different dogs than I have now. And, they just give you a dirty look. But the whole development was all about being pet friendly. They have pet stations for watering and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So today I was in one of the stores and this lady had three dogs. They were little. They were a mix of a Shih Tzu and a poodle. There was three of them on leashes, and they were all like crazy, like and um, we were in the lingerie department looking at the sale racks, and here are all these little dogs running around under your feet and stuff. It was kind of funny, and I thought there is no way Leon and Mojo would be able to come here and act right. They would just be trying
All
to
over the
put
place.
me all over the place.
Luna would be the same too. She's always looking for attention and
Thank you,
um,
Alicia.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Mm,
gonna stop
yeah.
counting birthdays here soon.
No, don't do that.
It's getting tiring. The
Well,
numbers
happy
get too
happy
big.
early birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And
And I hope your wishes come true.
yes, well, I tell you, I've landed in a great new job, so that's a lot to be grateful for.
Mm,
And I will, thank you, JK. I will catch up with you here soon. I'll send you a little correspondence here in just a few minutes and get you squared away. And we will just keep on keeping on.
okay. Well, I hope everyone has a great moon day and everyone I guess a
Thank you.
good break from us for a little bit until we
Yeah,
come back.
we'll have lots to reflect on.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've done the chart for the US, I can be more. I just did that right a little before we came on. So I'll give it some more study and see if there's some interesting correlations.
I'm pretty sure there is because yeah.
We've been here before, just different faces, different time.
Mm-hmm. All right, look one more time. No way.
That's, it'll all be fine. Everything will be fine.
Yeah. Don't worry, just be happy, right?
Yes, right. Just breathe, soul. Just breathe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you go feed your critters, and I am going to go give mine a little stretch their legs for a few minutes outside and get into the weekend. Stay cool and hydrated wherever you are.
Yes, thank you. And I know it's like 9 over here and it's still bright outside. You
It's
can
after
tell.
midnight here, and it's really dark.
Yeah,
No,
well, it should
no
be dark.
stars or moon or anything.
Oh no, yeah.
I missed you, Chewbacca. I was wondering where you were.
Yeah, we missed you too. Yeah, but we should have a lot on our next live. So
Well, thank y'all for staying up late with me. We're night owls, I guess, tonight.
yeah. So all right,
Be safe.
guys.
Yeah, be safe. Keep it
Yes.
between the lines. Keep it real. All those good things.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I guess we'll see you guys until next time.
All right. Thank you. See you later.
All right. Bye
Bye.
bye. See. All right, guys. Bye.